Hello and welcome back. We are Roll NYC, and I am Dave. That's Kat. That's Rob. And thank you for joining us. This is our, can you believe it, 4th episode of our D&D series. We're just a few friends who love D&D, and we love sharing our stories with you guys. So again, thank you for joining us. We ask, as always, if you'd be so kind to like our video, share with our friends, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us quite a bit, and it helps us get our stories out to more people. So that being said, Rob, I believe you have something to share, right?
Yes, a quick shout out to my friend's band, Elijah Cantrome, Father Before Me. Don't know if you can see it.
They can see it.
Yeah. Father Before Me, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you get your music, listen to them. They're great, I promise you. Or don't believe me, but still listen to them.
We would play it for you, but I don't know if YouTube would actually let us do that.
Yeah,
I think it would immediately flag...
Go listen to yourself.
Yes. So what's the band called?
Father Before Me.
Father Before Me.
He's a huge nerd. It's a Lord of the Rings. It's a Star Wars reference.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good people.
Good people.
Sounds good. Kat, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Okay. Now that we have announcements, I think we've made it.
We've
Yeah.
done it, yes.
Alrighty, but that being said, I think we will get into our game proper. If you joined us last time, our intrepid adventurers, Dameon and Viladro, they had traveled to the town of Emmitsville, best known for its massive cemetery grounds. Yeah, you found out it's where most of the human guards and soldiers who fought in wars past are buried. You've been following a lead of sorts, and it brought you to Emmitsville. You explored the cemetery, spoke to some of the town guard, and realized that there's something nefarious afoot. You went to the Hall of Heroes, we'll call. It's a mausoleum where some of the greatest heroes of the human kingdoms were buried. Dameon, you used some of your tracking skills and focused in on the undead, which you have been trained to hunt. You found that there were definitely some sort of mixture of the ashes, which you've been following, drawn out in a large circle around the mausoleum. You're able to break the circle. You feel breaking whatever effects might have been starting to take hold. You guys got into the mausoleum and you realized that there were more of the same going on. Some of that more ash was very ritualistically drawn in a circle on the inside of the chamber, drawn over some of the statues' eyes. So again, feeling like there was something going on here, seemingly not to the knowledge of the town guard. However, you guys had a quick exchange with the headmaster of the cemetery, a dark elf named Jaladari. Dark elves are normally not too common on the surface. This one seems to have found a home in the land of the cemeteries.
The sun.
Yeah, it seems like the sun never shines here. But you had a quick exchange. You're explaining what you found and that his town may be in grave danger. And he didn't seem too concerned. And he took every opportunity he could to sort of dismiss you and just say, we'll handle it. Realizing you couldn't trust him, you went back to town in Emmitsville, followed him back to his home, and found out he was having a secret meeting with one individual that you've been tracking for some time now, known as the Crow. It appears Jaladari has been working for the Crow and his family. And there's definitely something bigger at play, but you confronted Jaladari, you were able to slay him, thus removing one cog from the operation. You had a quick battle with the Crow. Unfortunately, he was able to cast a spell on himself, allowing him to escape your grasp, any sort of capture or dismemberment or worse. And to make matters worse, before he fled the town, you heard him shouting and calling for the town guard that the two adventurers who just came to town had murdered the headmaster, which is technically true,
It is true.
but you had good intentions.
Yeah.
It
It was a good murder.
was a good murder, yeah. It wasn't cold-blooded. It was quite warm.
It's quite warm.
Quite warm. But
Totally light. And
yeah, that was good. But searching his room quickly, you found that there were stacks of letters that looked like they were recently opened on Jaladari. You took those as potential evidence before fleeing the town. You were able to escape, and you made your way to the human city of Foxburg. It's about a half a day's ride eastward. It's another one of the main human capitals, Foxburg being best known for its engineering and technological advancements. However, you found a night of rest at the Hairy Farmer, and it is here where you'll rest and pick up the following morning. So, we'll say you get your full night's rest. You're able to recover any spells, any missing hit points. Dameon, you go to sleep feeling still sort of fatigued from that battle with the ghost. However, upon waking, whatever its effect it seemed to have on your life force seemed to go away overnight because this is 5th edition D&D.
A good night rest.
Yep.
Nothing a good solid 8 hours can't fix.
Absolutely. A warm bed, a good meal.
Maybe a prostitute.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
We have a different room.
Well, we had the same.
No,
you did share a room.
Oh,
I believe.
I said maybe. It's not a definite.
Sure.
I remember us having the same.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
All right, but with that, yeah, like I said, you guys wake the following morning.
Mm-hmm.
You are rested and back to, for the most part, full health.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do?
So I guess we'll continue our trek to Hearthmoore because we're looking to go to
Hearthmoore.
What is it?
No.
Hearthmoore?
We're looking to go to Hearthmoore.
He's key confirmed.
To go, guys, we want to go to Xantus University, try to get more information on bringing back a lich, all the good things.
Okay.
What I would like to do before we head out, if we have time, and if you'd be so kind, I think we should change our appearance.
Okay.
Because they know what we look like. And
Yeah, so one thing that I will make mention of, I think I mentioned in the last episode, but so the human kingdom specifically, they're broken up into 4 kingdoms.
Mhm.
There's Westcaster, Foxburg, Velmire, and Hearthmoore. And essentially the way it works is if you commit a crime in one of the holds, one of the kingdoms, eventually word gets spread within the kingdom that, be on the lookout for these 2, murderers that killed the headmaster at Emmitsville. I don't want to say the headmaster was like, you didn't kill a king or anything like that, but word would eventually get around within the hold that, people matching your descriptions did what you did.
Yeah.
You're pretty confident that it wouldn't travel, like word wouldn't generally travel from one kingdom to the other, unless your crime was like, you went on like a 15-person murder spree, and the killer might be coming to you next,
Okay.
You go Jack the Ripper on us.
So should we not be, am I being too paranoid?
No, you could, I'm just saying, you could totally, if you'd like to change your appearance, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You're probably safe in the other kingdoms, at least from the law. I'm not going to say other people might not be pissed about it.
Yeah.
But it's specifically if you want to go back to Westcaster anytime soon. So yeah, you can definitely do that in Foxburg.
Okay. So V normally has like what is a nun's like the white, like she doesn't show her hair. She has like a little hat, a little boxy hat.
A little box.
And then she wears like a nun outfit. with like lots of necklaces. Like she wears the necklaces of every deity for like anyone who passes. She has something for someone when they pass. It's a nun outfit but shorter.
Ooh.
So she has to be flexible.
Oh,
She needs the leg room. So
she wearing pants underneath?
yes, she wears pants underneath.
Check.
But it's like a nun outfit that she hemmed.
Okay.
It's like I need to be physically movable.
Right.
So that's kind of what she's wearing. What she'll probably just do is take off her hair, or take out her hair, and just like put it in a braid and just have it out.
Okay.
And maybe just like a lot of necklaces to tuck in. Maybe get a turtleneck, get a jacket, get a scarf.
Okay.
Scarf.
What's your
Get a
deity?
scarf. Mortia.
Mortia. I
Yeah.
mean, like you're dressed like a priestess. You pretty much already have the disguise, or
But they
might be looking
They
for a
might be
priestess of
looking for
Mortia.
that's how I get there.
right? But how many? Okay. Like I get it. Like we're looking for a priestess of Mortia with a guy who has long dark hair.
Okay, then you change yours though.
I have no intentions to.
Well, never mind. I didn't even think about this like that. Whatever. I would take out my hair just so it's not.
Okay.
Find out she has flaming red hair.
Interesting.
That's.
So
I built that up just to say that she has red hair.
She's a redhead.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
theatrics aside, we should go get breakfast. And
Merida.
Long, flowing curls.
Okay. We should get breakfast.
So are you changing your appearance or not? You're taking your hat off.
Take it out. That's it.
Damn. He's never taken his hat off.
it smells very bad.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Yes, she's taking her hat off.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right. You want to make yourself maybe look a little less...
Yeah. Like no one saw redhead.
True.
Exactly.
Well, now if you commit a crime, you're going to be way more.
Right.
I'll put the hat on
you-
before.
You'll be the red-headed murderer.
I'll put the hat on before. It's more when we are...
It's the murder hat. When you're ready to do a murder.
It's more thing I think about.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys get breakfast. Like I said, Foxburg is another city that's open fairly early. You actually did get in pretty late, so you're not going to have one of your early mornings again.
Yeah.
Like you were stalking the streets of Elmira at like 5 in the morning. Scaring the poor. But yeah, you can eat. You can, like I said, get whatever rest you need done. The city has pretty much most of the, like, you know, if you need to do any like common shopping or stuff like that, you can do that here. Was there anything else in the city you wanted to do?
Buy a scarf. Missiles.
You can buy a scarf. A fashion scarf or a function scarf?
Technical
Yeah. Is there pockets in it?
One's one can stop an arrow.
I would like that one, please.
Necklace. So
What's it, like a chainmail scarf? Imagine. No, just a fashion scarf.
okay, you can pick up a scarf for a gold.
Okay. Gold. Jeez, is there gold in it?
It's a good scarf.
It's a good scarf.
Actually, you have some silver on you.
I do have some silver.
10 silver.
Thank you.
What color is your scarf?
It is purple.
Purple.
Yes.
purple scarf.
Okay.
Red hair, purple scarf. She's with
I would.
with silicone.
I know we have some potions, but you can never have too many.
True.
So I would like to go to a potion shop or reagent shop or
Okay.
however they like to.
Pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I also have a point.
Oh yes, you do have an ointment.
I have an ointment.
I have a potion of vitality, potion of growth, and we have 2
Uncommon, yeah, David.
Whatever you wrote down. I trust you.
It's not the death ward potion.
Yeah, you haven't taken those, and I think you also have necrotic resistance potions.
Yes.
2 of those.
2 of those. 2 uncommon healing, 2 potions of necrotic resistance. 1 vial of holy water.
Okay. Yeah, so you can seek out a potion shop, a alchemist, if you will. Are you looking to buy the raw ingredients and make them yourself, or are you looking to buy potions?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay.
Just-
Okay. So you find a nice shop.
Hello, nice shop.
Yeah, it is. It's actually the nice potion shop. That's what it's called. You enter. It's a pretty standard layout. A few shelves of potions. Not a huge shop. Doesn't look like they have maybe the biggest selection, but they have a few things here and there. You see a gnome fella standing behind a desk, and he greets you as you come in. Well, hello there. Welcome to the nice potion shop. If there's anything you need, please do tell.
What is the nice
Yes, it's the nice potion shop.
It's a big, nice potion shop. So I'm looking for healing potions.
Of course, I have those sorts of things for you. You're looking for common or uncommon?
How much is an uncommon?
Uncommon will run you about 125 gold. Common will run you 50 each.
All right.
I have 3 of each for sale.
I'll take 2 common, please.
Of course, that'll be 100 gold. Anything for you, miss?
No, I think I'm fine.
Very good. I have a few other things that might interest. I do say you do appear to be adventurers. Would I be incorrect in my assumptions?
No, you'd be pretty correct.
No, of course. I have a keen eye for these sorts of things. There are many things. Potion of fire breathing, potion of water breathing, and well, that's actually it. And healing potions.
Do you make them yourself?
No, I don't. I have a partner on the other side of town, and he makes them. I brew. I sell them.
Where is your partner?
He's on the other side. This part of town is primarily for selling, and there's a manufacturing plant not too far from here. Does that answer your question?
Do you want to go to them?
I have this book filled with a bunch of recipes for potions.
I see.
I was gonna take it up to learn how to do it myself, but it's way easier to just give someone gold. And
I see. So you're looking to sell the recipe book.
yes,
I see. Well, if you give me maybe an hour or so, I can go fetch him and bring him back here, and we can sort all this business out. I'm sure he's always willing to purchase new knowledge and that sort of thing.
if you don't mind me. Yeah, we'll wait for your friend.
Very good. Okay, I will go fetch him, and like I said, I'll be back in a short while. I actually have to run home to get something anyway, so this all works out.
Isn't it great when plans work out?
There you go. So he gestures you out. He locks the shop up behind him.
Wait inside?
No, I'm the only one here. You seem like very nice people, but things do disappear from time to time.
100%.
So if you'll excuse me, and he bobbles his way down the street. It would probably take him a lot less time, but he got little legs. But a short while later, he comes back with another gnome, a female, and he comes back and he goes, "Please, come in the shop. We'll talk there." And the female, she's got actually pretty long blonde hair, like kind of like to her like lower back, like butt area.
Wow.
But it's just she's just this little like she's like one of those little like hairy trolls because she's so small. She's only about like just under 3 feet,
No.
and it's mostly hair. But she gives you a hi, how are you? And
Hi, how are you?
they both enter the shop. They gesture you in, and he opens everything up again, lights a few lights, and he goes, so, this is my partner, Meredith, and she, well, show her the book. And she's like, yes, I hear you had a book of sorts. May I produce?
Sure, Meredith. Thank you. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, you can just call me Nice.
Nice. Here's the book I found.
All right, and she hops up on the counter, and again, she hops up on a stool behind it. All these counters are normal size, but they have to like, all right, let's see here. And they start flipping through. Oh, I see. Very interesting here. Is this your work?
No, it's not. It's a dead dwarf.
Ah, I see. Some of these notes say Hammerhearth. Does that name not ring a bell? Does he have any import?
Maybe at one point.
Interesting. Well, it seems like he's very well calculated in his notes. Do you have an idea of what you're looking to sell this for?
100 gold.
And they share a knowing look at each other. They both they have a quick exchange in what you assume is their native tongue. And she goes, I do believe 100 gold is a fair price for this.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much. Will you pay the man? Of course, I'll pay the man. And they go, and he gets out pretty much 100 gold that you paid him.
Even exchange.
Gives it back to you.
Thank you.
And they both kind of let it was a pleasure doing business with you. If you're ever back in town, please do let me know that, you're back, and you're always welcome in the nice potion shop.
I think hopefully you'll make some of these.
Of course, yeah, and she's like, I'm quite excited to get started on this right away, especially this one that claims to make you stronger than 10 men. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Just don't throw any nightshade in.
No, unless you're brewing poisons, that's usually not.
It's night high.
Well, we'll avoid that. We're nice people.
Yes.
Anything else you need from this lovely little duo of gnomish potions brewers?
Not for him, good.
No.
Okay.
I just one way that was nice.
Very nice.
A nice potion shop.
No.
The nice potion shop.
B's the nice.
Anything else? Anything else in town? Let's see.
I think I'm good. Can't afford anything that I want. Yep.
That makes more money.
I
You've been obsessing over this lead. It ain't getting you paid. The problems of adventurers. When doing the right thing doesn't put money in your pockets. Being paid in gratitude.
I hate to try to retroactively do something, but I would like to say that my one Blood Hunter potion that I brewed today is potency.
Okay, which one is that?
It adds 3 to my strength.
Strength. Okay, cool. All right. I mean, if you wanted, you could sell the potions that Sister Helena provided to you.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't pay you, per se, but she
Yeah.
paid you in items.
Mm-hmm.
You could always sell those if you were looking for some coin.
Well, I mean, I don't think we want to sell healing potions.
Yeah.
The necrotic resistance ones, maybe.
I mean, I'm already resistance to necrotic, so would that make me? No,
Yeah. It really wouldn't help you.
Okay, so
Yeah, if you want to sell them.
do you want to?
That's fine. Again, a good 8 hours.
We'll
Maybe a
heal.
prostitute.
We'll heal everything.
We'll heal her. Nice long rest.
And then what does the death ward potion do?
It
I forgot what death ward.
Yeah, so Death Ward, I just have to check let me check the length of it. I think it's 8 hours. It essentially casts Death Ward on you. And Death Ward is the first time you drop to 0 hit points. Instead of going down, you're returned to 1 health.
We only have one of those, though, right?
No, she gave you 2. And it would last 8 hours.
Okay. So I'll go back and be like, I'll forget something, and sell the necrotic.
Okay. You want to sell both or just one?
Both.
Both. Okay. They are willing to pay 200 gold each.
Ooh, what? Nothing. Take them.
All right. So they go into the back room, and that's where the real money is. And they pay you 400 gold.
Sweet. I'll give you 200 gold.
Thank you.
Cash money. Somewhere Sister Helena is disappointed.
Yeah. You kept the death ward.
They sold my gifts.
They kept the death ward.
I know, I'm joking.
And I think I'm good. Or do you want to do work here, or do you want to get away as well?
After meeting the crow, I think we should venture down to Hearthmoore sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Especially someone from your background, you know that, especially in major cities, there is always work that needs doing. So if there's ever a time you just want to make some money, you can always find work to do. In any town, really, but in especially major cities, there's always people willing to pay things either the guard doesn't have time to look into, or whatever the case may be. Maybe some nefarious things as well. But yeah, okay. So you want to head down to Hearthmoore?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So that being said, you guys depart from Foxburg. You get your horses. I'd say you were there, by the time you wake up, eat, do a little bit of shopping here and there. It's probably maybe noon, 1 o'clock. It's going to take you, luckily you would be traveling the main road, which does help expedite the travel. And again, you do have horses. It would probably take you a day and a half to get from Foxburg down to Hearthmoore. And again, there are plenty of little roadside, taverns and inns and bed and breakfasts essentially that you can stay at along the way. So is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So you depart the city of Foxburg. Again, no weird business going on, no angry mobs, no tolls to get in or out. You head back out onto the Concord Trade Road, which is again the main trade road that runs from the tippy top of Norian all the way down to the bottom. And you ride at a comfortable pace, unless you want to ride any harder or slower than normal.
No.
You ride at a comfortable pace. You pass the town of Kinsbury, which is that kind of T-junction, and continue riding a little further. Are you guys comfortable staying at a roadside inn, or do you want to camp on your own?
No. Why?
Yeah.
Why risk it?
Right, exactly. All right. So again, at the end of the night, you're able to rent a room, get some more food and drink, that sort of thing. 6 gold each for the day's. Like I said, it's not the best quality bed, room, food and drink, but it suffices for warm food and a safe, relatively place to stay.
6 gold, you said?
6 gold. Yep. Anything you need to do?
6 gold each, or
6 gold each.
okay.
Yeah. Anything you need to do before your adventure continues?
No.
Okay. Nothing particularly crazy happens at this roadside inn. One of the things you do notice along the main road is that, I think I might have mentioned this.
Wanted times.
Yeah. Yeah. They have pictures of you, but one, you have the hat on, and your noses are just like gigantic. They got the nose all wrong.
Wind Riders.
Yeah. But one of the things you do notice is that while no one gives you any trouble, the guards along this part of the road are Westcaster guards, who are technically the guards that were in Emmitsville were also Westcaster guards. They were just like, bare bones, like there's no trouble here, but they are technically under the employment of Westcaster. And the guards that patrol pretty much the human section, because like up in the top, the dwarves are in charge of protecting the road. Then you get into human lands, and humans are in charge. And then when you get down to elven lands, elves protect the road. So the Westcaster Guard do protect this part of the road. No one gives you any trouble. But it might be something to keep in mind. The road is technically a part of the hold of Westcaster.
Yeah.
But that being said, you wake up the following morning. I don't know if you need to change any of your spells, but you're able.
No.
I don't know if you need to change your what's it called? Your mixture or your I forget what it's called.
Your cocktail?
Yeah, your Blood Hunter brew.
Yeah.
If you need to change that, you can.
I'm still going to keep it as.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume you keep what you have unless you specifically want to change it. But you ride the following morning, and you arrive in the city of Hearthmoore, probably about 3 p.m., midday.
Mutagens.
Mutagens, cool, okay. Mutagen of potency. You're mutant. On the ride up to the city, again, Hearthmoore is a grand city. You've been hopping from human city to human city, and they all have their own distinct flavors to them. Velmire has a very, gray and gothic, and especially once you got into the, like the lower parts of it's very. The lower parts of the city are very like function over fashion, and you didn't happen to go to the upper city of Velmire. But Foxburg, again, has a very industrial, a lot of the lights there, probably should have mentioned this while you were there, but a lot of the lights are actually on sort of like small little gears run them, that they come on at certain hours of the day and turn off at others. They actually don't need people to light them. I mean, they need to be maintained, but they could be, they're sort of automated. They have like clock towers and things that run on automated systems. So it's definitely a much more advanced in that sense. Hearthmoore is also very advanced in different ways. You see the outside of the walls of the city are these like almost like shining like white stone walls. You can see past the walls there are a lot of like tall towers and spires, and you actually see that there's a lot of elven influence. I don't know how up on like your two characters are on like the elven culture, how much time you spend with elves, but there's definitely a lot of elven influence in this human city. You ride up to the gate. There are plenty of guards, humans, elves, and half-elves. They welcome you to the city of Hearthmoore. Obviously, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them. But if are you looking to go straight to Xantus or looking to do something before then?
Well, what time is it now?
I'd say when you arrive at the city, it's probably about 3 p.m. So you would be able to get there before it closed.
Maybe see if there's something quick to do around here, and then
I can check into the local temple in Martia here, so we can stay with them.
well, more I don't want to have to rush in Xanthus. I'd rather take our time.
Like, we'll go in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
but maybe we can find something to settle tonight.
What do you mean?
Like a job or-
Okay. Let me we can check in with my temple. See if they have anything.
I also have the urban bounty hunter background, which I should have a contact in every town.
Okay. Alrighty. So you
Morty, how the hell are you?
okay. So you're looking for just some side work?
Yeah, side
Okay.
hustle.
Side hustle. Okay, sounds good. There are, let's say you, something, do you have an idea of, like, is this part of your order or, like, your contacts?
I would say it's contacts, like
Okay.
people who know me. I don't. It's not like there's another. We go like Hell Hunter, and it's like, hey man, you doing something? Oh, you don't want to do it? I'll do it.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, so you head to where your contact knows, where your contact, usually hangs out. Again, Hearthmoore, a lot of the human cities you'll come to learn is they're meant to have a very simple and easy to navigate layout to them. So there is not quite like an upper district, as in this is where the wealthy live. There is a district that is mainly dedicated to practicing the arcane arts. It's where a lot of the schools, that's where the temple to Xantus is. Because again, Xantus is the god of the elves and god of magic, arcane magic specifically. So there is a lavish temple there. And actually, you do know that Xantus is the primary deity here in Hearthmoore. That is also where Xantus University will be, so when you eventually head there, that's kind of in that part of the city. Again, there's a large market, all these cities have places where you can eat and rest, and they all expect travelers. So we'll say you make your way to your contact here in Hearthmoore. It's a half-elf fellow, sort of dark hair, and you kind of catch him hanging around the market. He sees you, and you see him, and he goes, "Dameon, it's good to see you. You haven't traveled through this part of town in quite some time. What brings you to my doorstep?"
Well, I'm looking for a little side work, bigger mission to worry about, but I don't want to rush into Xanthus this late at night.
Of course.
Late at day.
Of course.
A late evening at 3 p.m.
Yeah. Well, for academia. This is burning the midnight oil.
Yes, there are a few things that I've heard around town. How hard are you looking to go on this one?
Something that I can get done by tonight.
All right.
That you think I can do.
Well, I know you're a bit of a go-getter, so I'm sure you'd be thorough enough to deal with any of these in a short while. There's always people around town looking for others to run errands for them, so if you're looking for the most basic of tasks, I would recommend something like that. Going out getting groceries and other regents and delivering messages, that sort of thing. Not everyone trusts the local messengers. So sometimes a particularly precious message needs a private touch to it. There was also some woman who I had overheard that was claiming that her father was accused of some sort of murder here in the city. She swears he didn't do it. Swears someone who looked just like him was the real murderer. Could be something interesting to look at. I also heard there was, this is out of the city, so perhaps you may not be interested. There's something apparently brewing over in Velmire, but...
What is brewing over there?
I have heard through my contacts in the city that the city guard is starting to have a real problem on their hands. Apparently there were several dangerous criminals broken out of Silverhold prison. And apparently at least 3 of them have been spotted in the city of Velmire. And like I said, the city guard has quite a problem on its hands. They're engaged in riots and all sorts of debauchery. But again, it's a bit out of your way, so perhaps another time.
Probably.
So again, I can recommend these things to you.
This lady with the father, how she was born with her father.
You're talking about if it's her. I don't understand you.
I lost where
I understand.
I was there.
You said it with conviction.
I know. I was like, what does that mean to be born of the father?
Anyway, so yes.
You can find her crying her eyes out outside of the one of the lower prisons in the city. She's been for the last several days begging the guards to let him free, and I don't believe she's left the building, or at least the outside of the building. She's not allowed inside, as you might imagine.
Yes.
So, and you would know, he could point you in the direction of that if you wanted to go talk to her, unless you wanted to go approach this a different way. He will say the father was a shopkeep, sold general basic goods, and actually the murder was at his shop. I don't know the full story, obviously, just what word comes to me. But you could investigate his shop, you could go talk to the daughter, you could try to talk to the man himself, but again, he's in prison, so you might have to talk your way in. Unfortunately, the town guard here at Hearthmoore are not quite as easy to persuade as those of Velmire. Are you from Velmire?
Yes, I am.
You are. I'm so sorry to hear that. You've made it this far, though, so that's a good step.
There's good work to be done in that town. Good souls to save.
Well, I see you are... do you have any holy symbols out? Or?
So I'm going to say that because I was trying to get not seen while we were in Westcaster, once we get back into this area, I'm going to put my full headdress back on.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, yes.
So I have all my necklaces out and everything.
He goes, yes, I've never quite understood the pious lifestyle, but all the respect to you if you can maintain it. I know there are plenty of souls out there that do not eat safe. But my path is my own, as is yours.
Yeah.
With that, I'll leave you to it. If there's anything else you need, You know what if
What was your name?
Qatar.
Qatar.
Thank you, fantasy name generator.
Yeah.
Katar.
Yeah. I put an H in there, but it's not important.
I
You may not ever meet this man again.
always spell it the way that I hear it. I don't care.
Is there an H in your?
No,
Oh.
it's Katar. But I was like, that could be a Q. I don't know.
QU.
You guys were thrown off when I
Yeah.
said Xanagos, and you're like, spell it? I'm like, X? Whoa!
Well, we can throw something out there like that extreme.
He was a wizard.
Yeah. So.
They're not all named Tim.
Tim the Wizard.
Tim, the enchant. She doesn't get it. It's okay.
She's watched the movie 2 times.
Yeah, what movie? What
Monty
movie?
Python.
Oh, yeah.
And the Holy Grail.
And
Alrighty, so with that, you make your way from Qatar's charming personality. Where are you heading to?
gonna go talk to the daughter.
Okay. Do you want to head to the prisons?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. You can head straight there. Cool.
Unless you want us to do something instead.
No, not right now. I'm just trying to process. I was buffering. if you will. Alrighty. So you make your way to the city prison. There are a few of them throughout the city. This one is closest to the marketplace. It's also there's like a prison for more dangerous prisoners in the magical district that need to be kept under certain magical restraints. And there's also the prison where it's like, all right, someone did something wrong to, like, commoners did wrong things to each other. Just throw them behind bars. That's enough. You know, give him some bread and water, and we'll figure out what his sentence is. So you go to that one. You see, in general, Hearthmoore is a pretty busy city, like the others. Except you guys have been a little spoiled because you've been going from one big city to the other.
Yeah.
Makes the small towns like, or the small villages like Emmitsville kind of stand out. But yeah, so you make your way to the prison. You see outside there are 4 city guard. They're standing watch, and you see there is currently she's hard to miss, especially since you know you're looking for her. There's currently a woman kind of like curled up in a little ball close to the front door of the prison, but maybe like 30 feet down. You see she's kind of like, again, curled up in a little ball with like her coat like over her. She looks like she's been here quite a while. She looks sort of disheveled, and it's not super cold out, but it's probably not very comfortable to spend a few nights on the cobblestone floor of the outside the prison. You want to go right to her? You want to go to the guards?
I'll go to her.
Okay. She looks like she's not quite sleeping, but she is sort of like resting her eyes sort of thing. And she kind of like opens her eyes. You see her eyes are bloodshot, and she's got like deep bags under her eyes. And she kind of looks up at you, and she's like, "What do you want?"
My name's Dameon. I am here to help. This is B. She's also here to help.
You are?
Yes,
You heard about my plea?
I did.
I started to think no one cared. I know the town guard certainly doesn't care.
Let's keep it between us.
She sort of sits herself up. You hear like a few like things crack in her arms and her back.
Would I help with that? If you allow me to?
How do you mean? So she takes it as more of a sign of hope sort of thing. You don't like your hands don't burst into fire, which is nice.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
They
warm
can
white
if you want them
glove.
to.
True.
Warm white glove.
This is where you drag your sword along your arm and it catches fire.
And then we terrify her. Blood fire magic.
The best.
So I wanted to cast Lesser Restoration on her.
Okay. Yeah, so with that, I don't... Yeah, so it would definitely help.
It's like one effect. So
Yeah,
I would assume she's exhausted.
Yeah, it will definitely help with her exhaustion.
And give her a snack.
Oh, thank you. So she, after a moment or so of kind of introducing yourselves and gracing her with your divine powers. Hello, I'm here to help. You just showed up like Jesus. I will heal the sick and wounded. She introduces herself as Emily.
Emily.
And
Hello, Emily.
she goes, I'm honestly shocked you're here to help. I said I thought no one really cared. My father, Walter, he owns a shop here in the town, and he's an honest merchant. He would never hurt anyone. He raised me all on his own. And he's a good man, a very good man, good father too. And the other day he was thrown in prison here for murdering one of his customers, and I just don't believe it would be him. We live together, and we never seem to complain about his work or any customers. He always seemed to have a sunny disposition about him. So how this could happen is beyond me.
Well, something does sound fishy, and we're here to look into that.
Okay, how do you think you can help?
Well, you said it's someone who looks like your father. Are you sure it...
So I wasn't there. I was running some errands myself on the other part of town, but I did get a chance to speak with him before they threw me out of the prison, and he claims it was a man who looked just like him. And
So he was there during the murder.
yes, my father was working. Yes, and the murder happened 3 days ago, right in broad daylight, right in the middle of the shop. Well, right outside the shop, I should say. He's not sure where the assailant went, but he ran off, and there were several witnesses who saw him do it. And again, it's just not him. It's just not right.
Well,
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Who was murdered?
I don't know the man. My father said he was one of the customers. He had come in maybe an hour or two before and was still about the marketplace, and he was gutted like a fish right outside the shop.
Is he a regular, the customer?
I believe he was. I mean, my father has a lot of customers. He sells very basic. He bakes some bread and sells some common, household things. So, yeah, he does have a lot of customers.
Do you think we'll be able to talk to your father?
I mean, you'll have to convince the town guard. I don't think there's anything illegal about speaking to prisoners, but they certainly won't let me in there. I've caused too much of a fuss, I suppose.
You should definitely talk to him, see what he says, and then...
How was he killed? He was cut
He
open with a knife.
was. He said he was stabbed with a knife several times. And again, the man who was murdered was an everyday a trader, a merchant, I believe, himself. So he did not have any sort of armor or like you two to protect him. He was murdered in broad daylight, and the assailants escaped. So that's what worries me, is that whoever this mysterious man is, who's seems to look like my father. He's still out there, and he could hurt more people. We don't have much, but we can scrounge some money together if you can prove that my father is innocent.
Well, we'll definitely give it a best try.
So,
Thank you. I will be here for a little while longer.
I think you should.
I just feel if I leave him, then I'm giving up on him.
We're here now. We're taking your place. You can say it that way.
Okay, okay, I'll head home and finally get a bit of rest.
Good to hear.
She'll tell you where she lives. She lives sort of in the, there's a residential part of town. So she'll tell you where she lives if you need her. But yeah, with that, she'll make her way home. And you see there are 4 guards outside the prison doors.
The talking, or you want me to?
Maybe you should try. I tend to break people the wrong way.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say. I'm going to speak. If I have something to make me better at this. No, I'm pretty good. We're fine. Okay.
I love your song.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I will approach the guards.
Okay.
And say how do you do. I start with a good how do you do.
They
Why did I laugh so bad?
They respond. How do you do, miss?
So
Can we help you?
yes. So this Emily has been here for a few days now, crying over her husband. She has hired us. Father. Pardon. Has hired us to investigate the situation.
Well, I hope she's not paying you much because as far as we're concerned, the case is closed already.
How's that?
We caught the murderer. There were several eyewitnesses who caught the killer and who saw the killer do it. And he made a run for it, but it seemed he ran around back into his shop, and that's where we caught him.
It seems to be that way.
This is what the eyewitnesses claim, yes.
No. So we have suspicion that it might have been something of more magical means, possibly. And we are more adept at that.
Well, how do you think you can help?
Well, we would like to just have a very, very short conversation with the prisoner, if you would be so kind as to let us do that. We will not do anything. We will not break him up or anything. We simply want to have a conversation with him, understand who was murdered, what he saw as well, and then, we'll be on our way. That's all we would like to do.
Well, you're welcome to. It's a free city here, and I'll be honest, I think you're wasting your time. But there'll be guards inside keeping an eye out, so you're welcome to go on in. One of them will, for the sake of not having to go through all this again, one of them will escort you in, and he goes, "Please follow me." He brings you inside the prison. There's a small little like a waiting area sort of thing. You see there are other people who look like they are here waiting to speak to maybe prisoners or what have you. This is probably where Emily was allowed before she caused a ruckus. But she, the guard brings you down one hall, banks left, and you see there are maybe about a dozen or so jail cells. It's a pretty, not too much going on here. It's a pretty standard prison. You see there are 2 guards that sort of stand in the hallway so they can keep an eye on things just to make sure that no funny business goes on here. You could probably see a bit. Maybe there's of the 12 prison cells, maybe like 6 of them are currently occupied. But he brings you to the man in the jail cell. He goes, "Here he is. Again, we'll be keeping an eye on you. If you need anything, please let us know. And I would suggest keeping your distance." And he looks at the man. He goes, "He's already murdered one person already."
Thank you. Your concern is greatly appreciated.
It's my job, sir. He turns and heads his way back. And you see a middle-aged human man, kind of like hair pulled back, but like starting to gray a bit. And he looks like he has a mustache and goatee, which he hasn't had a chance to shave in quite some time. He's kind of sitting on a small cot with some straw and a little pillow and a blanket. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Do I know you two?"
No, but we're here on behalf of Emily.
Oh. So she doesn't think her father's a murderer like the rest of them?
No.
Well, I raised her to be smarter than that. Always question what things happen. Let me tell you, she's she can certainly question. Well, I don't know what brought you here, but I thank you for your time. As far as the guards are concerned, I'm a guilty man. I just sit here waiting my sentence.
Well, we're just here to get more information from you of what happens from your point of view. And
of course, yeah. Of course, if it can help, I would certainly like to see whoever really did this pay for their crimes. All right, let's think here. It was a regular day, like any other. I opened the shop like normal. He explains his day-to-day. Again, he nothing too exciting. I bring in the bread and I display it on the counter. Probably gives you like too much information, but every detail could be valuable.
Yeah.
Because there were quite a few customers coming through that day, and
Was it abnormally busy?
it was a little more busy than I suppose normal. Wasn't complaining, and I'll be honest, I was flustered because I normally work the shop alone, and I was feeling a bit short-staffed. But I know the man who was killed, and he comes to my shop every so often, maybe 2 times a week, just to buy simple groceries and that sort of thing. And then I remember that there was shouting going on outside the shop, and so that sort of commotion doesn't really happen here often. It's a fairly safe city to live in. The city has enough magical protection and spells on it to usually weed these things out, but I remember rushing to one of the front windows of the store, and I saw a man. He looked right at me. He looked just like me. He was even wearing the same clothing I was wearing. And he gestures down to he's got a very simple green tunic and brown pants. And
So when you looked at him, he looked like you in that moment. You didn't see a change or anything.
he looked just like me. My hair, he gestures to his mustache. My facial hair, my clothing. I thought I was seeing things, honestly, but then he turned and ran down the street, and when I went to go find out what was happening, there were people shouting for the guards, and I saw the poor man bleeding on the street. And when the guards came, some townsfolk were convinced it was me, so...
current accusation is that you ran away, but then came back to your shop, which seems a bit convenient.
Of course, all right. If I murdered someone outside the shop, I wouldn't go back to the scene of the crime. That's ridiculous. That's what I've been telling the guards for days now, and I'm sure my poor daughter, but I'm fairly certain he ran off. I didn't see where he went, but he left the knife behind.
Who has the knife?
The guards. I'm sure the town guards took the murder weapon when they took me and the victim.
Who was the victim?
He was a merchant in town. His name was Harold, and he was sort of like me, really a nobody.
He owns a shop as well, or owned a shop as well.
He doesn't quite own a shop, but he sort of helps people navigate their. Yes, he's a traveling merchant around the city. He doesn't have a storefront per se, but he does buy and sell. And what he was buying was just his own items. That's the word I'm looking for. You'll have to excuse me. It's been an exhausting several days.
Take your time.
Yes, I'm sure.
You really think you can find this person?
We can try.
You can try. Do you know if Harold, works with anyone else? Like, would have another contact? Have a family or anything?
I don't know him personally, unfortunately. I really just know him because he comes into the shop once in a while. I can't say I really know him. I remember he was stabbed 4 times. It was much more than was required. I remember hearing people say that he was already dead when he was stabbed the 3rd and 4th times. So whoever did this was really out for blood. I don't know if they were targeting Harold or how they looked like me. I didn't think, outside of twins, I didn't think, people always talk about having a doppelganger, but I didn't think it was real. The man looked just like me.
We're going to look into this. Do you have any other questions?
Did the person who looked like you, did they see you?
He did. He looked right at me.
Not any type of gesture,
He smiled, and he had like how can I describe it? Like a glimmer in his eye. Almost like his eyes shined for a moment. But I was stunned. He was holding a bloody knife, and he dropped it at his feet and took off. He was fast. Certainly faster than I could have ever run.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions.
Me either.
Well,
So where's your shop? That's the question.
It's called Brandel's Breads. It's he'll kind of point it out in the market. It's in the main market thoroughfare. I'm sure it's sealed up and maybe blocked off because it's a murder scene. But it seems like these guards have concluded my guilt. So I imagine it's just abandoned now. I mean, if you think looking around there could help.
Or at least asking around, see if any other shops know of Harold, get additional eyewitnesses. I'm more interested in who Harold was.
I see. Okay. Well, I mean, if I can be of any more assistance, I suppose you know where to find me.
And this might be a grim question, but do you know what they're going to do with you?
Well, the sentence will either be exile from the city, or the sentence for murder is usually death. I don't know how much time I have. They haven't given me a sentence. They say they'll determine my true guilt in time. To just sit here and eat stale bread and drink water until then.
Yes.
Whatever happens to me is... I just don't want this affecting my daughter. I'm to eventually leave this business onto her, so I would hate to think if something happened to me that she might be in danger too.
Well, we're going to try and sort this out for you.
Thank you.
Hopefully before any of this progresses.
Of course, it certainly doesn't seem like they're in any rush to try me, so I guess we have time, but the sooner the better, I'm sure.
I agree. So, we're going to take our leave. We wish you the best in your stay here. Hope nothing further happens to you.
Yes, please, be careful too. I couldn't live with myself if someone else was hurt on my behalf. It's the last thing I would want.
You don't have to worry about us. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Alrighty, so you guys you depart.
Yeah.
The guards ask, is there anything else you need at this point?
This might be a bit out of our asking, but is it possible to see the murder weapon?
Make a persuasion check.
At advantage because I'm so handsome.
You are handsome.
Okay.
There you go. You do the confidence.
Hey, beautiful. How about you show me that murder weapon?
So that's going to be a 19.
Is that +1 for you?
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. He goes, you really think there's a case here? You really think that man isn't the murderer?
So let me just ask you one simple question. If you murdered someone, would you run around to the back of your shop and then show yourself again?
He smirks, only in that, I know it sounds ridiculous,
Right.
but we have at least 8 or 9 eyewitnesses that said they saw him do it.
Eyewitnesses in a panic, eyewitnesses that just saw a murder, not everyone sees a murder every day.
You're absolutely right, and unfortunately the guard can't be everywhere. We responded within a few minutes,
Right.
but
I'm just...
no, it doesn't seem what I would do. It seems foolish. And yes, I will admit, the man seems like he couldn't bring himself to harm a fly. However...
Yeah, so a plethora of people.
And he kind of looks around and he goes, a murderer on the loose generally causes panic in a city. If the town guard is not deemed doing its job in protecting the citizens from further murders, it could lead to worse. So...
As long as there's no plan to execute or try this man, we need time.
Well, it's out of our hands. That would be our sergeant's. He maintains a few of the prisons in the area, and he's got a lot on his plate, so I have a feeling this man will be sitting in that cell for quite some time.
That's good.
Well,
But in terms of the murder weapon, sure, I suppose...
I mean, obviously you can stay and...
Right. Between us, I'm not 100% convinced it was him. However, we have our orders, and there was evidence enough to at least convict him, or accuse him and hold him for a crime. Yes, and one of the... Actually, he goes, will you? And he goes, yes, of course. The one guard that brought you into the prison, he goes, please, follow me.
Damn it.
He must be like the new, the newbie or whatever.
Escort people around.
Yeah. And he brings you back into the prison. He brings you to the right, and you see he's actually going to bring you into the where the guards kind of work and operate out of. So he goes, stay close and let's just get this over with, I suppose.
We'll be out of your hair soon.
He brings you to a back room where there's all sorts of, it's essentially an evidence locker, to the extent of, medieval times. There is someone at a desk who keeps a log of all the evidence that gets checked in and out, and this guard does have to request the murder weapon of the what did I call it? The Brandel Bakery murder.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of paperwork that has to get sorted out. He's able to bring the weapon out and kind of pull you off to the side, so if you need to examine it or something. He's going to stay with you and answer any questions you have.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, he lays out before you a kitchen knife, really. Not a dagger, not a stiletto, anything like that. And it's a large. I'm not up to date on all my kitchen knife. Amanda would be upset with me, but definitely one of the big ones. And
Chef's knife?
yeah. One of the big knives you have. Not like a small one just for cutting meat. Not a paring knife or anything like that.
You mean this one?
Yes. But he goes, this knife was found at the crime scene. Again, several of the witnesses said they saw him use this knife and then drop it and leave it behind. You see there is actually still blood on it and whatnot. And he goes, when we examined the shop after the crime was committed, it did appear that this knife matched the knife block that the baker had in his shop. So, it certainly seems like he murdered him with one of his own knives.
Do you have Arcana?
I don't, but I have Detect Magic. Funny. We can just shoot and roll for it, too.
Yeah, you could just, you could always...
I could try to Detect Magic, but I don't know. If the weapon's not magical, I don't know if that would...
Detect Magic might pick up, if magic influenced the weapon in any way.
Can we do that?
Yeah, just give it the old college try.
Yeah, I'll go for it. He did this. I will cast Detect Magic on it if the guards would let me.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to... He seems okay with you, doing your examination. And again, magic's not that uncommon here in Hearthmoore. It's actually probably sort of commonplace. But yeah, so you cast...
So, pause. In theory, would this have already been done?
It depends on how thorough the guards are.
Okay.
Maybe. It wouldn't be unbelievable that the town guard have magic at their disposal, that they could do this detection. Just checking something real quick.
No problem.
No. Okay. So you cast Detect Magic, and you, as you're kind of examining, the knife, one, trying not to cut yourself, two, trying not to tamper with it, that it affects, the evidence that you're looking at. The knife itself is not magical. However, you see the handle of it, while the handle itself is not magical, you can actually make out there's some sort of residue that was left behind on the handle. it's almost a little, at this point, it's, because it's several days old, it's sort of like caked on, but it's sort of, is like almost like a slimy, or like a, again, it's caked at this point. It's like it's hardened.
It's crusty.
Yeah. But
Yum.
unless the murderer was like really sweaty or I don't know, something else going on, it did look like the knife itself is not magical, but it looked like whoever was wielding the knife, if they didn't have magical powers, they are magical in nature. Is there anything you wanted to do?
Can I check? So I would assume she relays that
She shares this
information.
information, yeah.
And can I like do a survival check for like a creature?
Sure. Okay. Give me a survival check.
Advantage because
This wouldn't be an advantage
Just ask every guy.
no, because of my
because he's a.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me see. Real quick.
roll once, and if you save, okay.
Oh.
Please let me roll again.
Error.
Okay. So what did you roll?
Survival. So that is 9.
Okay. So you examine the knife. There's no signs of. Yeah. There was a little confusion. You weren't totally sure of the roll. Yeah. You really got to feel your rolls.
Yeah.
Like you felt that the handsome roll.
Yeah, I did.
And good success.
So,
You gotta.
you're gonna tell yourself you're handsome every time.
I'm going to examine this knife handsomely. But you examine the knife. You take the information that Viladro provides. You look at it. You don't pick up any traces of Fae. So you're pretty confident not a Fae was involved. However, you can actually see at one point, kind of like where the handle meets the knife, there's actually also a little bit of like, it looks like caked on, it looks like skin.
Ooh.
And
Nom, nom, nom.
yeah, and you're not quite sure it's of the victims. It does not belong to a Fae, you're sure of that, but it does not look humanoid either. It looks like whatever, and it actually kind of looks like whoever was like using this knife might have like nicked themselves in the process of like dropping the knife or using it or whatever.
Got a little overzealous with the stab.
Yeah.
Use another man's knife.
Yeah, exactly. This knife is made for cooking, not stabbing. But yeah, the knife was not used by a Fae, but it was used by something that is not humanoid.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. The plot thicker.
I'm going to just relay that to the guard, like, just feel like this isn't human skin.
And again, he's like, I'll be honest, this is a bit above my head. I'm fairly new.
Right, 100%. But, there's nothing we can do here.
I just wanted to ask, has there been other types of crimes like this? Where this wasn't me?
No, not that I've heard of. There's, again, crime is, we have a pretty good handle on crime here in the city. That's why I joined up with the town guard. I feel like easy job, but I feel like it wasn't always this way, but I feel like growing up in the city, it's always been safe, and I wanted to continue to keep it that way. But no, I've never heard of appearing to be someone else and murdering on their behalf. No, usually when someone kills someone, they're them. Which is why, of course, you understand why when we found the suspect, and he was, of course, playing dumb, it didn't look good for him. Of course, yeah. Is there anything else you might need? I have a feeling I might be tasked with helping you guys along if needed.
What's your name?
Andrews.
Andrews. I think that we're just gonna give this back, and you can escort us out.
Of course, yeah. I said I would, of course, ask that you don't get into any trouble. Causing trouble on behalf of trouble doesn't generally work out, but if
we wouldn't dream of it.
If there's anything else we can do to help, I do feel for the old man, and I do hope you're right. But okay, he takes the knife, he checks it back in, he escorts you guys out, and like I said, the guards leave you with, if there's anything else you need, you just have to ask.
All right. So
what's...
Oh, actually, where do they keep the bodies?
No.
Yeah, so he said there would be a morgue not far from here, like maybe like around the corner. So, you want to go check out the morgue?
Let's check out the morgue.
Okay. Okay, Keanu Reeves.
Let's check out the morgue.
All right, so with that, Andrews will escort you to the morgue so that you don't have to explain to the guards there your process and whatnot. He can get you checked in.
Nice to have an Andrews.
Yeah.
And Andrews. All right, so you said you want to go up the alley?
Yeah, so we've lit our torches, and does it look like this alley is traversed along?
Give me some a check. You actually do this at advantage for reasons.
I don't need no reason, I just need advantage.
Woo!
What are you doing over here?
I'm looking at him and marveling in his looking.
You're looking at him looking.
Unnatural 20, dirty 20.
Alright, so this alley does not look like it has a terrible amount of traffic to it. You see this alley does lead around to the back side of the store. Looks like the store does have a back door, a little window on the side as well. It doesn't look like I said, there's much traffic through here. However, you do pick up some tracks as you lead the alley to the back side of the building. You see it kind of branches down, and you can get to some buildings here, some buildings there. You see on the building to the left of the bakery, kind of like on the corner of the building, you pick up some more of that residue. Looks like sort of like a... Pretty much. Very
Picking his nose. You gotta leave some evidence, man.
Pretty much. You see almost like a hand mark kind of drag along the wall, the corner, and you actually see there are quite a bit of like still fleshy little bits kind of like stuck to the wall.
Nice.
Again, from what you had learned, that the assailant didn't seem to take anything from the victim. Didn't loot him, didn't take out anything from him. Just stabbed them and ran. But you actually do see this trail leads down the alley a few buildings, and you can actually see it branches. Like you have a clear-cut trail if you wanted to follow this.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you
glad
coming in?
Yes, I am obligated to follow you until you're concluded here. And he's like,
a nice witness.
and he's like, what is that?
Lick it.
No, I'd rather not. My mother taught me better. I'm not looking at that. Sort of, he kind of holds the torch up to it, and you can see it's actually like in the torchlight. There's a little like shimmer to it, like it's like slimy. Ugh, terrible. And you're able to follow the trail. It leads further down the alley, and then again at one point it branches like leading towards the building, like the next street over. Because again, the backs of the buildings kind of face each other. So it goes down a few buildings and then cuts down an alley, going into the next street behind. And you actually see more of the same material, but quite a bit more. And you see there's like a big heaping. It looks like it was haphazardly covered up, but there's almost just kind of like a little pile of like mush. And
No one reported this?
didn't seem to see it. I don't know. At least it is a bit covered up. It's not quite leaving a trail where it's like a blood trail, but there's like little pieces here and there that you're following this trail. And you follow it across the street. You're able to kind of track it to another, like the back alley on the next street over, and you see more and more of this like skin-like material being shed and kind of like left behind.
Is any of it like human looking, or is it all just this white or glistening?
It's sort of like a pale grayish, just like it looks like if you like left chopped meat out for far too long.
Yeah.
It doesn't look natural by any means. You also don't see like mixed in any sort of like clothing or any sort of like distinguishing features other than these like gray piles of mush. Is there anything you want to do with them, or
Can I grab a sample?
you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can kind of poke it and kind of like jiggles a little bit. It's sort of gross. It smells kind of gross. You see Andrews is like, oh, that is foul. That is very foul. You do still have the trail though.
So I'm gonna keep following it.
All right. So with that, you follow it for a few minutes before it eventually you go over like another like street or two. You're still in the market area, but there are some homes here, and it eventually leads you to the backside of a small cottage, maybe only 2 or 3 rooms. But you could see this. There's like one more bit, like up on the next, building, and then it goes across the back alley, and you see the back of the cottage has a cellar door that it sort of looks like the trail ends there.
Into the cellar.
I check the cellar door for traps.
Okay, give me an investigation check. 3rd dice roll of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4th.
I'm handsome. Natural 20.
All right, you figured it out. You broke the game. It can't possibly happen again, can it? That's a confident roll. Confident roll.
Some might say arrogant.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, yeah. So with that, you're able to see that the cellar door does have a small little like wire attached to the bottom of it that you gather if it was opened, it would trigger it. You don't see any evidence of like dangerous traps per se, but it might be something as simple as like it triggers the wire and then like rings a bell. I guess something like an alarm system sort of thing.
Okay.
And again, the wire's creation is sort of haphazard. It doesn't look like any
True engineering.
right. Exactly. Yeah. Looks pretty ramshackle. And it's, but you would be able to deactivate it if you wanted to. You have the means, and right now for the time, you could deactivate it if you wanted to.
I would like to deactivate it.
Okay, you use your thieves' tools. Again, it's not. There's no pressure for time, so you're able to take a moment or so.
25.
You deactivate the trap.
Like you cut the
Yeah, pretty much. You've now at this point encountered much more difficult locks and that sort of thing. It's sort of almost as easy as like cutting the string and giving like just enough slack so it doesn't go and like trigger whatever bell it was. But it doesn't appear like the door itself is actually locked. It's just kind of like a two-door like wooden, door down to a cellar. It definitely goes underground. Okay.
I inspect for handrails for safety.
No handrails.
That's right.
No! Still show this slime around the town.
God.
This is a hazard. You see there are maybe like 4 or 5 stone steps that go downstairs. Andrews kind of looks down and goes, I don't recognize this place. Should I go get back up?
You know what? You go get back up. We're going to continue.
Yeah.
All right. Oh boy, don't do anything crazy. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm sure I can find the closest outpost or patrol and bring them over.
Each round of action is 6 seconds now.
Right, well, I have to get there and
Yeah. Just saying.
You have nothing to worry about from us.
Okay. All right. I'll be back. Be safe.
Of course.
And thanks, Mom. And with that, he heads off to the front of the building into the street. Kind of turns around, like looks around, and then heads off to try to again find the closest patrol or the closest outpost that the guards would have access to. All right, you guys are descending the stairs.
Yes.
Alrighty. Who's going first?
Is it dark?
Down the steps, yeah. It would be, like I said, your torchlight goes down the steps. You can see a little bit of this like dirt-floored room, but yeah, there are no lights on downstairs. There's no lights on in the building.
I will go first.
Do you want me to lead?
No, it's fine. I'll go first.
Can you see?
I have a torch.
Yeah, we're just gonna go on the torch. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Is there anything you need to do before you descend into the darkness?
Are you saying should we prepare anything?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah. I'm a day whatever we do.
I don't know. You want a side quest, so I came up with one.
Creative dude.
This is why it's important as a DM to write very, vague notes. So when your party's like, hey, we want to do a side quest. Someone was murdered, but there's something afoot. Quest prompt.
I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on you.
All right. How long does that last?
10 minutes.
Okay, that's a pretty long time.
I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna drink my potency mutagen.
All right. So you take your strength potion, and you feel your muscles tighten, bulge. You are stronger than you were before. All right. So with that, you make your way down the steps. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I said, you step down into a dirt-floored room. You see in the immediate area you're in, there are some like boxes and barrels that look like they've been like smashed open, and there is a staircase going up to what you presume is the house like normal, and then there are two doors. There's like wooden walls, two wooden doors.
I will open up one of the doors.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, left or right. Okay. So with that, you swing the left door open, and you are like blasted in the face with like a rancid smell of just foul meat, like bad. Like this is what happens when you leave meat out. It is foul, gross, and as you kind of your torchlight floods the room, you see there are like quite a few like bloody, mangled bodies laying here. Not quite sure if you can make out who or what they are, because you'll see like an arm here and then like part of maybe a torso. It is
not looking
all sorts of bad.
Does it all look humanoid?
They, from what you can tell, they do look, mostly humanoid, but again, like not fully intact.
Yeah.
Hard to discern how many people are down there, how long they've been down here.
All right, door number 2.
Well, that was a joyous experience.
Okay.
I don't like death like that.
That's slaughter. That's bad.
That's not good death.
All right, so as you...
you have to bless them or something?
I don't know. That won't help them. I mean, they went to where they needed to go, but it was not a fun ride. It was rough.
This is the sort of thing that makes people question Mortia.
Yeah.
Because they're like, was this their fate? Really? This is why people don't like the gods.
Exactly.
But as you approach door number 2, you hear a shuffling from behind it.
Oh.
You hear like a shuffling, and then something like bumps into something inside the room. It goes silent for a moment. There's a few moments of like anticipation. What do you do?
I take out my crossbow.
I take out my sword.
Which one?
Sword.
Okay. Okay. So you
Yeah, I was like,
so once again you flood the torchlight floods the room. You see that these rooms, which this one has like a few more like boxes and like a table in the middle of it that's been like shattered who knows how long ago. Again, you are like this room smells worse. And you see right immediately in the floor in front of you, there's just this like big
puppy.
No. I hope not.
Oh no, I don't want a puppy in there.
This guy kills puppies.
No, back at him.
Just a big old like stretched out pile of this gray mush. And as you like, do you want to step in or do you want to just look into the room?
I'm just looking.
Okay. See,
Why'd you ask that question? Exactly.
because
I'm just gonna look into the room.
this gray mush is like in the door. And you do a quick survey of the room. You see there are no bodies in here, but you see actually standing in the corner of the room, like trying to hide, but like sort of standing out in the open.
Oh, God.
You see this gray-skinned individual. It is humanoid in shape, in that it has a head, torso, 2 arms, and 2 legs. But it's got, like I said, like pale gray skin, like glowing yellow eyes, and you see it's actually like
Like, he doesn't see me.
yeah, like he thinks he's hiding from you, even though you're like,
Oh, Lord.
at one point he like covers its
Sensitive eyes.
yeah.
Or is he just trying to hide himself?
Maybe a little column A, a little column B.
If I don't see them, they don't see
This
me.
is like one step short of like hiding behind a curtain, and you can clearly see his feet. Big ass feet sticking out.
So I asked, what is it?
Do I have a bestiary knowledge?
Give me either a
Survival?
you can give me a survival check, yeah.
That's
Probability.
what every roll is.
Yeah.
You think you were handsome?
I always. It's a low one.
Okay, that's good enough. You have heard of these monsters before. This thing is, by D&D standards, marked as a monstrosity. You recognize this. Maybe you've come across them. Maybe you've just heard of them. They're usually quite good at hiding in plain sight. But you recognize this creature as a doppelganger. It is a monstrosity that is able to read minds and then mimic to pretty much perfect T people that it sees, including like clothing and accents, and it usually requires, like, the more it examines someone, the better it gets to know it. But with its ability to read minds, it definitely helps it along.
Yeah.
Um,
And then it changes its body to look.
yeah. And all those gray piles are when it sheds its former exterior. Again, it doesn't like put on clothes.
Yeah.
Its skin appears to be clothing
Yeah.
and facial hair, and
How does that work? Like, does it flow?
it kind of just like slaws off.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, at this point, it's up to you how you want to proceed with this thing. It appears to be trying to hide from you.
Did we get it?
You see, it does have like clawed like hands that are like covering it, and
I throw my torch at it.
What?
okay. Give me a. Give me a.
Are you scared of it?
Give me a. So this is technically an improvised weapon, which I don't know if you have proficiency with. So just give me a dexterity check.
Roll a die. Yes.
You had your dex, but. So you
Land it in his eye.
you throw your torch right at it. It hits it like hits it right in its effing face.
Right in your big dumb gray face.
Roll me 2d4. Well, it's a crit, so technically 4d4.
No way.
2 of them is like blunt, like being hit by a torch. The other two
Fire.
are the fire of the torch.
Nice. Nice. Hello.
Rolling cow traps.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, so that's... Do I have to discern, like...
No, it's not resistant or vulnerable to either of them, but...
Okay. So... That is 6, 10, 14.
Okay. So with that, you take one step, throw your torch again, and beams this thing right in the face, and it's got really like it has like big glowing eyes, and it's sort of like a flat like hole where its nose should be, and like a big old like gangly mouth with teeth sticking out. It's a pretty nasty looking creature, but you almost put the torch like in its big stupid mouth, and it retaliates with a. I'm gonna need you guys to roll some initiative here, because this thing is pissed and a little humiliated, maybe. What you get?
17.
23.
Okay. Alright, at the top of the round, Dameon.
I'm just going to run at him with my sword and take a whack at him.
Okay. So as you enter the room, I need you to make a quick dex save. As you, I'll say the room's not that big, so technically the floor is difficult terrain.
Okay.
However, even moving 15 feet is enough to get to him.
I think my potency gives me disadvantage on...
Uh-oh! I got him now!
Yeah, I have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay, yeah, so this is disadvantage.
A natural 20 and an 8, but that's...
Is your dex mod and your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, so that is 13.
Okay, so that is enough. So as you take your first step, you kind of like you're on a little. You skate over to.
Oh
Of course, it gives off like a. It's you like skating through sludge essentially. You're skating through its skin.
Nice.
yeah.
Wall to wall skin. But you are able to get to him with your full action in tow.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like realizing it's been spotted, it kind of like raises its hands, its clawed hands to fight back.
Alright, I'm going to take a whack at him. That is 9. 15.
15 lit?
16.
16 lit? Ooh, 16 misses. 15 hits, 16 misses.
6 damage.
Okay, what did you roll?
A 2.
Okay, so you see as you bring your silver sword across this thing, it's not a huge hit, but the sword, as it cuts, a little bit of steam kicks off this thing. It appears that it is vulnerable to your silvered blade.
Woo!
So you rolled a 2 times 2, so it's 4. And what's your strength mod?
Right now, 4.
Okay, cool. So that's 8 in total. Alrighty. So you're kicking this thing's ass. You slide across the room, give him a nice slash with your silver sword. Anything on your bonus section? Okay, Viladro, you go next. This thing rolled a respectable 12, but not enough.
So I will do Word of Radiance.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know what you are. I'm sorry.
So, I think word radiance you have to be adjacent to start.
You utter a divine word, burning radiance erupts from you. Oh yes, you have to be in front of you. Yes.
So you can walk up to him.
Change.
Oh, you got your ice skates on. Though.
I wanted to do something from far away.
For the skin room.
Yeah, that one's good.
You
I'll
don't-
do guiding bolts.
You don't want to slip.
I will do guiding bolts.
Okay.
Unnatural 20.
Woo!
You see it. Oh no.
Upset.
I assumed he didn't say anything. Works. 10 damage.
Do you add anything on guiding bolt or not? Just to your feet.
It's just
Okay. And this is
it's glowing.
This is radiant damage.
Yes.
Okay. So you fire another one of your patented radiant beams.
Yes.
It strikes into the thing and it kind of makes most of its form glow with the white light. Definitely didn't like that as it kind of like got rocked up against the wall it was leaning against. And now the next attack on it has advantage. Okay. Anything else? You are still in the doorway, in the main room that you.
I want to stay out here. I do not want to get.
Okay, sounds good. Alrighty. So with that, old doppelganger will go,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. He got too many options, so he's gonna try to make his 2 melee attacks against you.
No.
Here he comes.
With a howling scream.
Sort of a very humanoid scream out of nowhere. Right, so I got a 12 and a 17.
17 hits.
Okay. We got 9 points of damage as this thing kind of like makes 2 big fists. It punches once, you're able to get out of the way, but the other one just kind of comes back and clobbers you, kind of like makes you knock back a little bit, and you just catch your footing on the slime floor. But it
Like an old man.
but this thing, as it hits you, kind of like, I don't want to say knocks the wind out of you, but it's got some force behind that blow.
So strong it doesn't know what to do.
It's going to, so it was up against the wall when you kind of charged it. It's going to kind of circle around, so its back is not to the wall, but it's still going to be engaged with you. With that, you go.
I have advantage.
You do have advantage on your first attack because it is glowing. You're so handsome.
That's
Oh my god!
It works!
How is this? Weird.
Not Rob, the dice. The dice are handsome.
Sure.
Alright, so roll that.
yeah. Whew, nice.
So add those together.
So that's 14.
Okay. You double that. Because that's 28. And then plus your strength.
Which is 4. 32.
Alright.
42?
32.
Oh, still.
How do you want to
So while he's like trying to like slink around me, I'm going to turn around and like cut him in half.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
So, he actually kind of like sort of slips on his own floor. And,
I tripped on me.
they always said this is how it was going to end.
Mom always said clean my room.
That's what it all comes down to. Kids, clean your room. It could be your undoing.
Don't slip in yourself, children.
Ew.
But he slips on the floor a little bit, it puts him off balance, and he's in a position where he can't defend himself. And you bring your silver sword around, and with a quick cuts right through his abdomen, and he lets out a quick before his top half slops one way, his legs go the other way.
Wonderful.
And there is a very dead doppelganger here. All right.
Okay. You're very good at that.
Thank you.
May Mortia welcome you?
You gotta check the rules on monsters.
Yeah, I don't know where they go.
I'm kind of just gonna flick my blade to get whatever stuck on the wall, and so this is the cellar to something.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that wasn't a very quiet fight, though very quick.
Wasn't that loud?
I mean,
Every time it got hit, it screamed.
it got fire thrown. It got fire thrown at its face.
I really hope it's a high pitched squeal.
Now you're in charge of the doppelganger.
There's more of them.
Alright, so I kind of just flick my blade, and I'm like, alright, we have to check upstairs and make sure there isn't more of these things.
Yes, let's go.
You carefully Naruto run out.
Carefully.
All right, we'll stay in initiative for now. So, Dameon, you used your action to slay the beast.
Yes.
You want to... So I would say you use your movement to get out of the room, because it's...
Can I pick up my torch?
Sure, yeah.
I will be.
Pick up your
It'll
torch.
be covered in slime.
Ish. Imagine these things are flammable. Oh my god.
I would-
You throw your torch in the whole room just goes up. And all you hear from the fire is...
You throw the torch and just close the door and let nature take care of itself.
But all right, use your full move to get out of the room, because it's technically difficult terrain. That would be the end of your turn to exit the room. What do you want to do?
Okay, so he's exited the
You're
room.
you're both in the main cellar room that you came down
Okay,
from
so-
outside, and then there's the staircase going up.
So the staircase going out of the cellar, or is there another staircase?
There's
go
two.
up?
There's the
Okay.
one out the back of the house where you came in,
Yeah.
and then looks like there's one that goes up into the house.
All right, I'm
itself.
gonna go to those stairs.
Okay.
And then, okay. Yeah, check the traps.
Okay. Give me an investigation check. Roll that dice, Kathy.
11.
Okay. So you look up the stairs. You don't see any obvious signs of traps or anything like that. However, you do see that the wooden stairs, some of the stairs are actually, look like they're broken. Looks like this place has not been maintained in quite some time. And some of the steps are a little slick. So you get the vibe that the staircase itself is
Traps.
not so much a trap, but a hazard. Yeah.
Okay.
You imagine you might have a similar issue that he had, where it's you'd have to either do this very carefully or potentially risk slipping
Okay.
and falling downstairs.
I'm gonna cheat.
Oh!
I release my wings. I'm like,
All right.
I didn't step in the other room. I'm not stepping on that.
Alrighty.
I
So you unveil your...
unveil my wings because I don't want to step
You
in.
don't want to be gross.
So,
Okay.
so the stairs.
So you want... I would say, getting to the stairs, floating up the stairs would be... Does your speed increase when you do this, or you just get a flight speed?
I think I just get a flight speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could
Yeah,
fly...
30 foot.
You could fly to the top of the steps.
That was my action.
That is your action.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just float at the other side of the door if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll allow me to listen. If not, no worries.
Yes, actually. You listen through the door. Despite the intense music, you don't hear anything out there.
Alright, so I'm gonna wait for her.
Okay. Oh, so the door's closed. You see the lock itself is sort of the door is closed but not locked, and it kind of looks like it's been like slammed closed. So you could open it. The door itself is not fully closed.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Dameon.
Time for David.
I will ascend the stairs
Okay.
with no wings. 'Cause I don't have that.
Right. You get your feet down in the shit. So it would be your entire move to the stairs and then move up them at half speed. So you can spend your full move to get to the top of the steps, where you pretty much two are like sort of shoulder to shoulder in this stairwell.
Okay.
At least you can move through my wings.
Yeah. Luckily, there are walls that you can kind of like shimmy up. What do you want to do with your action?
I will open the door.
Okay, so that's not your action. You swing the door open. You look out into a room. It's a fairly open room. It looks like it should have most of what should be a kitchen. You see there are several of the counters are like smashed and like crumbled down. The place is fairly dark because at this point it's getting on to be like 6:30. I know you have your torch out, but like there's not a lot of like, natural light in here. And you do see not so much in this room. You see like little traces of like the slime here and there, but not enough to be a hazard. But there is a single door out of this kitchen area into another room of the house. You remember from outside, this house wasn't particularly big, maybe only 2 to 3 rooms, but nothing going on in this room.
I'm going to move to the next room with the action.
Okay, so you're gonna use your movement to. You want to enter the room?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So you enter the next room, and again, do a quick glance. There is more of this slime on the ground, but again, you don't see any movements going on here. B, you're up.
Alright. So I'll go through the kitchen.
Okay.
And then
You could probably like fly over the countertop,
Yeah.
so you can only use like 10 feet of movement.
yeah. So then I'll get to the next room.
Okay.
Can I perceive or can I?
Sure. Yeah, you can make a perception check.
8.
Okay, so again, you look into the next room. You see it's sort of like this is the rest of the house. And there's like a smashed bed in the corner, a smashed table. Looks like no one has lived here for quite some time, and this place has just absolutely fallen into disrepair. The majority of the floor is slimy and considered difficult terrain and potentially dangerous. But you don't see any movement. There's some, again, like smashed furniture here and there. Between your dark vision and his torchlight, the room is well lit, but it's quiet in this one.
Is there? I mean, I don't want to push it. But can I hear anything in this house?
No, it's quiet in this room.
Could it be that there's only one of them? I mean, there's a lot of others down there.
As you say that, you kind of turn around to Dameon, and you're like, could there only be one of them? You get this, like, something kind of, the hairs on the back of your neck go up, and you're like, there's something else here. And you see not enough time for you to react, but enough time to see it coming. Another one of these creatures lunges out and lunges for Viladro. So it's going to make a sneak attack on you.
How did you know he was alert?
He doesn't. The DM doesn't. It also wasn't his. They go after you. So. All right, and that's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Doozy.
No.
Oh, I'll put him down. Alrighty. You take 17 points of damage as this thing leaps out and kind of like batters you with both of its, hands. Again, this thing hits with some force. Kind of like knocks you into the wall. It's going to make, the second attack's not an advantage, but it's going to make its second attack on you. So it's a 17?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. And another 4. So he kind of like knocks you into the wall, and it kind of just like gives you this like haphazard like shoulder check. But yeah, he's going for you. He's pissed.
Oh boy.
Dameon, you go.
Alright, taking a potion is
Giving it to yourself as a bonus action.
yeah. So I'm gonna take one of my commons. Two.
Cool. I think healing potions are going to be like cans of soda. Cool.
So I'm gonna heal myself for 8 damage. For 8. And with my action, I'm going to run my blade over an exposed piece of flesh and light it on fire.
Okay. So you do Crimson, right?
Yeah. Now I'm going to lose 2.
All right. That's why I drink the potion first.
And I'm going to move into its base.
Okay. As you enter the room, I need you to make a dex save. I also need you to make a concentration check on your Shield of Faith.
I got a 9, so that works.
Yeah, I think you do it at advantage because you're a warcaster. But yeah, the first attack was
17.
17, yeah, so that's 8.
Yeah, so I rolled a 9 the first time.
Okay.
And then 4. 7.
Okay, cool. So the Shield of Faith flickers for a moment as you, like I said, caught unawares, but the magic holds.
11.
11. Okay, that's still enough. Again, so you come into the room, but you ready yourself, and now you have this. You have a torch and a flaming sword, and it kind of looks over at you and goes out like a. That is your turn, then.
Yeah, my turn.
Okay, B, you're up.
Nope. I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had that.
Yes. I haven't done it yet.
All right.
I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon, and I'm going to it's going to be like a long axe, but essentially it's a ring of daggers around it. I think, I forgot what it's called.
Ooh.
But it's like, so it's like a staff with rings around it and with the symbol of Mortia.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Alright, so I cast my spell to do it. Can it attack too?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
That's your bonus action.
yes, and I will make it whack it.
Okay. So make an attack.
I do not get it. It does not.
No. It probably it doesn't say one way or another if it gives or gets advantage. So the safest thing probably to say is it doesn't.
It's 6 points. Okay, and then it uses my spell attack bonus, right?
Yeah. So your wisdom mod plus your proficiency.
Yeah. So 22.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
This I add my spell modifier to.
First doppelganger is so dead.
11.
11 radiant damage.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So as you kind of like your
Oh! With my wings out, I add more.
So your I think your wings might add to your first. Does it specifically say your weapon attack? I don't know if it adds to like spells or per se. For now, let's say it doesn't. Because I think it's like the first time you hit with a weapon.
Yeah.
But you do still have your action. Well, that was your bonus.
Oh, I thought casting it was an action.
No, spiritual weapon's a bonus action.
Oh, and it can attack?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first time you cast it, you can attack with it. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure.
That says, so once on each of your turns, you can deal extra radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or spell.
Okay, so yeah, then it takes an extra 4. Right.
Yep, my level.
Okay, so it takes 15 in total.
Sweet.
That's good to know.
Okay.
So, like, if you threw a guiding bolt at it, it would hit that. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yep. So I will glug.
Yeah, when you cast spiritual weapon, you can make a melee spell attack, and then as a bonus action, you could do it again down the road.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I will.
And that's second level.
Yes.
Okay.
I will.
Drink a potion as your action.
Yes. Or I will do Cure Wounds.
So you can't cast Cure Wounds because you casted.
Yes.
You could cast a cantrip.
Oh, I was going to do my beads.
Okay.
It's okay, I'll do a potion.
Oh wow, that's an item. That's not. You're not casting a spell. You're using an item.
Okay.
So you want to cast? Yeah, you can do it through the beads.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I will do Cure Wounds on my beads. Is it a one-time use of those beads?
Yes, but then it comes back on. I think Cure Wounds comes back on short rest. Cure Wounds and Bless comes back on short rest. It's not what the card says, but that was what. You have Bless and Cure Wounds. Those come back on short rests. The Branding Smite is on a long rest, and then the Planar Ally is once a week, or if you take a short rest in a Temple of Mortia.
Yep. Okay, so it's a second level.
Mm-hmm. So it's 2d8 plus your Wisdom mod.
Yeah.
Oh.
20 back.
Jesus. Well,
Back at it.
Oh wait. Okay. We'll talk about it later.
that was your chance, doppelganger.
But I think that we have to clarify something. I think every time I roll, it's the highest. Or every time I heal, it's the highest. But we'll look at that later.
Dude, what?
Yeah, I think that's because that's my class.
Oh, we'll look that up.
Yeah, we'll look that up later. But 20 is fine.
That sounds like a lot for... You're only level 4.
I will confirm.
Okay. With
That's my
that,
turn.
as he batters you around and he sees that you pretty much heal up all of his damage, he's going to make an attack on both of you.
Oh.
We'll do Dameon first. Come on, dude, don't give up.
Damn.
22 hits. And we'll do an attack on you. Woo! This guy's on fire. 23.
Oh, jeez.
He is the master of doppelgangers. Doppelganger Prime.
Sorry, I have to be at 0 hit points to get the full health.
So when you heal...
Yeah,
I think when you heal...
0,
right, okay.
then I give them the full.
Cool. Okay, that's a good clarification to make.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if Dameon went to 0, you healed him, he would get... If you roll D8, he would get 8. Yeah, plus your modifier.
Yeah.
It's pretty nifty, though.
Yeah.
Alright, so you hit your both.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do Dameon first. That is 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And Viladro, 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Why me?
You hit you both.
I know.
And you healed yourself. And he can't do that. And he's pissed. And you're in his home.
We're in his home.
Yeah, you're the bad guys here. Dameon,
Gonna hit him.
you do have advantage, as the two of you, plus the spiritual weapons, have this thing surrounded.
That's 17.
17 will hit. Good follow through.
So
So the silver
is double.
Right.
So that's 8 plus 4 is 12, and then 1 fire damage
Okay.
for 13.
Okay, so 13 total. All right. Anything else you need to do?
Nope.
Okay. V.
Okay. So I'm gonna first have
These turns are moving quick.
yes. I'm gonna first have the spiritual weapon attack him.
Cool. Yeah, so this thing doesn't have advantage.
That's a natural one. This is why I don't use spiritual weapon. It's like it always fails me.
Yeah, but it's beautiful because it's not a concentration spell.
It doesn't.
And now, so it swings.
Oh, you reminded me. I got it.
Oh yes, it did hit you again.
16.
Okay.
You roll those at advantage, by the way.
You do roll those at advantage.
9.
So you see your spiritual weapon goes to swing. It flickers for a moment, kind of phases through it.
Not either. So then I will switch to my mace and hit it.
Okay, so that's at advantage.
1. Positive. 22.
That'll hit.
6.
And this adds your Azamar damage because it's the first time you hit something.
10.
Okay, so 10 in total. Alright. So that's the cool thing, because you technically now have 2 attacks, so
Yeah.
you miss with one, you hit with the other.
Yes.
Alrighty, anything else? Okay. He's gonna go. He's gonna continue to he's feeling good about it. Really not, but he's at this point he's in fight or flight. He's gonna fight. So he'll make an attack on each of you. Dameon. Ooh, 7.
That's a miss.
8. 8.
Nice. Wow.
All right, so they at this point you see he's getting desperate, so he just kind of flails out at the both of you, not making any sort of contact here. Dameon.
Gonna swing. That's 11, 16, 17.
What? Die.
So 4, 8, 10 altogether.
Okay. That's including your bumped up strength, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's 2, that's double, so it's 4.
4 plus 4 for...
Gotcha, yeah. Okay, cool. Actually, how do you want to do this? I like down out his health. I'm like, oh wait, no, he had 12 left. He did.
I'm going to just slice it through.
Nothing.
Nothing.
This is a messy fight at this point, so
I'm all like,
yeah. The footing is not stable, and this thing is just in it's hard to get a good strike in because it's just flailing. It's almost just kind of spinning, just kicking slime up as it spins. But at one point it spins. It looks at at Viladro, and you just kind of take your now flaming silver sword, cut it down, and it lets out a less dramatic as the one downstairs. Yes. It makes all those noises. But yeah, with that, the beast falls, and the room goes silent.
Where did that one come from?
I guess the shadows.
It's the tricky thing about torchlight. It does sometimes cast shadows.
That's all of them.
I hope so.
Just so you know, it was hanging on the ceiling.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the thing of nightmare. And actually, it rolled a 24 to stealth. So.
Oh my god! It wasn't even breathing. It doesn't even breathe.
It eats.
I'm gonna do So are we out of combat? Or are
Yeah.
we still, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just do a real quick perimeter check to make sure there isn't a third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you obviously we know you're out of combat. You spend the next few moments making sure the coast is clear, checking behind. There's not that many places to hide, but like I said, this thing was crawling up on the ceiling. And, yep, so you check the area. It is quiet. No other bodies up here. It looks like bodies get dumped downstairs. There is sort of like a pile of like where the broken table is. You get the vibe that this thing was like sleeping there. And then looking around the room, you see like all the windows are like shuttered, closed, with like blinds, and like one of them has like a bookshelf pushed up in front of it. And these things look like they've been here for a while.
Oh, boy.
Because they really moved in and made the place their own. Hence all the shit on the floor.
There's no gold hanging around, just doing nothing.
You gotta sift through it with slime.
Yeah, I will actually say if you peruse the room, these things don't really have a need for money, but every now and then, if you get in the vibe, they might like abduct people and bring them back here, or wherever the case may be. You find 30 gold in total.
Nice.
Just from like a coin pouch here and there, and yeah, so some point.
I'm gonna say, like, whenever we find gold, she will only accept it when, like, we share it to her. So she's not gonna, like, grab it.
Good to know.
So she can be like, "Oh, Dameon, there's gold here. What should we do?"
Yeah, that's what she's gonna do.
Let's take it.
Oh, well, if you insist.
I will take all of it, so you don't have to burden yourself with the guilt of...
More tea provides.
Yes, Martia Burbank. Take a leave. For
all the death you can handle.
to improve my armor. Save it.
There you go. One little job at a time. Unfortunately, doing the right thing doesn't always put money in your pockets, but every now and then it will.
Yeah.
All right, so is there anything else you need to do here?
Wait for Andrews.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your hand?
Yeah, so maybe he's probably gone maybe like 4 or 5 minutes before he comes running back. There are 2 guards who arrive on horseback first.
Oh.
And then he comes running in maybe a minute or 2 later. They come to the front door. They both like hitch their horses on a nearby like post, and they bang on the front door. They circle around to try to like find you guys. And you want to let them into the house? You want to meet them outside? What do you do?
I'll let them into the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Come breathe in the scent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. What do you do with your wings?
With more.
Put them away and step into the sludge?
Yes.
I'm just asking because...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm assuming this is a secret. So.
Yes. Well, they only last a minute, so.
Okay, that's true. So then they would disappear, and all right. So you get your boots all...
I try to avoid
Sludgy.
as much as I can.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. But they were thorough
Yeah.
about this room. But all right, you open the door. The 2 of them come up to the door and like, oh God, what is that smell?
Serial killer.
Ugh. Ugh.
You guys had a couple of doppelgangers hanging out around here. They've actually put quite a dent into your population, it looks like.
God, sweet. I had no idea this. I mean, thank you. Were you able to see who they killed?
Well, there's actually...
Right. That's
No, let's go.
this is the part of the job that I hate.
Let's go to the basement. There's some...
And you make your way through the sludgy room, down the sludgy stairs, and into the 2 rooms. The one, the body room, and then the other sludge room. And yeah, it's pretty horrifying, view. for any normal person to take in. Eventually, Andrews comes back, and
A scarred, broken man.
yeah, just a boy.
Stripped down to a boy.
But
I wish I hadn't seen that.
Oh!
But yeah, you show them around, and there's certainly enough evidence that these things are killers. There's no like direct evidence that these things killed the guy, but there's certainly enough to link. It's like, all right, this is, you explain how they are able to shift and appear as other people, and then as they can investigate this more, they're able to discern that this was the culprit, not Harold.
Especially since
Harold was the victim.
Yeah, Walter.
Walter.
Yeah, especially there's like a literal slime trail.
Yeah, exactly.
We can take you on the slime trail.
Right.
Like,
Andrews has been on the slime trail.
yeah.
It's true. He sees you outside, and he's like, "You're okay. You look hurt. Are you?"
I can heal myself, so it's fine.
Oh, that must be convenient. And you explain what happens to him. Do you want to bring him into the house, or do you want to keep him outside?
Andrew?
Yeah.
Is he already just a sad little man? That is...
No, he's young. He's like a young man, probably like early 20s, like fresh on the job.
I will not advise you to go inside.
The other guards are in there?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll keep, and like even just like outside the building, you're like,
How about you keep a distant perimeter?
I'll keep my eyes open out here. Make sure there's no one. We have to block off this street.
Yes.
We have to make sure that.
There you go. Good. Smart thinking.
Right. And the horses. I have to watch the horses.
Of course. You did not need to see. Thank you for escorting us and being with us today. You have done a great service.
How do you do this every day?
I mean, this is pretty much one of the worst scenes I've ever seen. But
You're so composed, though.
I try to remember that I'm on, the path of Martia, and if I meet my death, I'm just going to see her.
That's beautiful. Sounds like a lot of pressure. But, well, thank you for everything you've done. And you sort of wrap it up with the guards. Again, they're able to thank you for your services. We'll fast forward a bit. The guards bring you back to the prison. You're able to tell Walter and Emily. I was looking at her name, Emily. As well as you actually do meet the sergeant. He's a half-elf fella, Sergeant Cadro. The guards kind of fill him in on what was going on, and Walter, after some process and paperwork, will be set free.
Yeah.
With that, Emily kind of comes to you. Emily and Walter come to you. Thank you a million times over. They're able to put together 75 gold to give to you. The city guard is able to pay you 150 gold. As not only did you prove Harold was killed by a monster, not Walter, you were also able to rid the city of 2 monsters.
Yes. So that's 225 also?
Yep.
But they're still doing that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So how about we'll do 125 each,
Okay.
just for next round numbers. I didn't mean to make it confusing numbers. But the point is, they didn't have a lot of money to pony up, but they pony up what they could.
So I'm going to give 25 gold back.
Oh. And
I'm not around when she does
Yep.
they insist you keep it, but
Take it.
they graciously take it back.
And
They thank you for your hard work and getting this resolved in such a short time, and you've saved Walter's life. With that, that's what we're going to call it for today.
Woo!
You've now ventured into the city of Hearthmoore, done a quick side job. At this point, again, several hours pass with the guard, so it probably makes sense for you to, in like Santos University, probably close to the public. So you probably catch a night's sleep and then carry on with your main quest in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. As always, we appreciate you very much. We appreciate all the likes, all the shares with your friends, and all the subscribes. I know that's usually Kathy's thing to...
What is it?
I actually like at the end of the video, I was able to put where, like,
Oh, nice.
it has the subscribe button, it has the check out the next video. Unfortunately, it like blocks the two of you.
Okay, so then here.
It kind of hits you with the like the Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. But like it's perfectly blocked your
Click
face.
on my face.
Yeah. So actually, it's Rob. Click on
Click on
Rob's
Rob's
face
face.
to subscribe. Click on Kathy's face. Eventually, it's at the end of the video to see the first video or the next one. I forget which one it'll be. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Next time, we will continue our adventures. And until we meet again, happy rolling. 6. Not good.
That-
Not the worst, though.
yeah.